MadFlavor TV. I am back, and I'm here with the woman had put all this together, Miss Olivia Fagon. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
This is some cool stuff. Off camera, I use a different word, but no, this is very cool. And we're glad that you brought it to Washington, D.C. Tell everyone out there what 29 Rooms is, for those who are not familiar.
Yeah, absolutely. So 29 Rooms is Refinery 29's Festival of Culture, Cause, and Creativity. We have been putting it on for 5 years. It started as our 10-year anniversary party, and we wanted to think about a way to celebrate all of the creative voices, artists, brands, celebrities who had built our very digital brand, and bring it to life in this artful, physical way for our audience to actually step inside of. And so that was 5 years ago, and today the DNA of the event is still very true. This is a space built by more than just Refinery 29, built by artists, creatives, people that inspire us to put on kind of host conversations that we know are impactful to our audience and are going to resonate with them.
And this started 5 years ago as just an anniversary for Refinery 29, and it built into this.
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine that it would be this big?
I don't think the team ever anticipated it. It was a little bit of an experiment, and it was an experiment that at the time we didn't expect even 6,000 people to come through that first year, and they did. So 5 years later, over 100,000 people have experienced 29 Rooms in all of its evolutions. So it was a happy accident, and now it's grown into kind of the event phenomenon that it is.
And you're taking this all over the country. You started in Chicago, then New York, of course, Atlanta, D.C., and you'll be going to L.A. as well.
Toronto,
Yeah.
And so we'll be heading to LA next, and then coming back to New York. So it's been exciting and incredible to kind of come to new markets and new cities for the first time, like DC, which I was personally super excited about because I'm from here. And it gives us an opportunity to not just kind of touch our audience, people who we know love Refinery 29 and live in these cities, but also it's our chance to work with the amazing kind of creative and local artists that are here in these cities as well.
I want to get into a little bit about the arts and the whole grand scale of it all, because we know that even in schools and places like that, we're not seeing the emphasis in the arts as we did. I mean, not dating myself, but there was more of an emphasis of arts and creativity in schools and even in the community. But we kind of lost that. Do you have any feelings on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a pattern for now a couple of years, just seeing how art has been displaced kind of formally from curriculums. But you're also seeing kind of a lot of new emphasis on how powerful creativity can be for any job or professional career. I think what's funny is oftentimes we have audience members who say, like, I'm not a creative person, which actually I think is something that is even instilled in us as kids. I'm not creative, I'm not artistic. And I think now what we're seeing is creativity is the idea to be, strategic, innovative, to think differently. And there is, absolute value in that, whatever you may be doing. And I think it's so critical to think about creativity as its own kind of like hard skill, because it's the thing that sets you apart. It's the thing that you can bring to any kind of element of your life, to disrupt it, to make it new. And again, to just do differently is something that, artists know well, but anyone can really use. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the rooms that people will see when you get here in Washington, D.C. this weekend. What are some? Let's talk about a couple of the rooms, because you took us around and there were some that really stood out. I want to talk about the 29 Rooms itself, 29 questions. Tell us about that room.
Yeah, that is a room that is dear to my heart. It is, sorry, I just love that over there. It was a room that, again, was a little bit of a happy accident. We kind of created it last minute, but it has remained probably the audience favorite of all of our experiences. It's a room in which guests are invited to enter in groups. They're paired with a stranger, asked to sit across from them, make eye contact for 30 seconds, and then start a conversation over 29 different questions that range from everything to who would play you into film to who do you miss. So funny, but also incredibly kind of emotional and candid. And I love it because it's such a simple concept, but people are so hungry for it. And I think what's great is that whether you come to 29 Rooms thinking you're going to have a very visual experience, that it's going to be about social capture or images that you're going to get out of it, it's really the rooms that ask you to kind of show up in person and be present that are the disarming ones and that really kind of leave legacy. People remember it. Yeah.
I like that room because in this climate of everyone's on their phone and no one has you have more eye contact with your device than each other. I found that room to be one where I think people will really understand, you know what, we have to get unattached from that and reattach with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And I think it's the reason why anyone still goes out, even if, you know, we are attached to this phone that can sometimes disrupt that. You go out to any event, whether it's a 28 Rooms, whether it's a night out with your friends, because you want something to happen. You want to have a moment of newness. You want to have a moment of connection, and people are so hungry for it. So giving them an opportunity where we make it easy. We say, these are the rules, this is how you have to behave. It really puts kind of the burden off of you, and then people just get to have that moment of connection that they already want. Yeah.
The next room, conversation with your inner child. People actually go in and write a message to their, it can be a message to your inner child or something that you may have learned that you wish you knew when you were a child. Tell us a little bit about that room. I really love that room as well.
I love that room too. So it's a room that I'm created in collaboration with a choreographer, movement artist, art director, Carlotta Guerrera, who's Barcelona based. And the room is a great example of creating opportunities for self-reflection, which is kind of a tenet of the types of experiences we like to have here. And again, carving out time for guests to not have to think, but we tell them what to do. It's instructional. We say, come in here, think about yourself as a child and write that letter. And again, people can be super emotional and get really kind of choked up thinking about who they might have lost or something they wish they told or how they wish they might have taken care of themselves as a kid. Sometimes it's funny and people are like, you know, be careful of student loans. And other times people are like, I wish that I told you how amazing you were. And again, people leave with that moment of self-reflection. People are incredibly busy in their day-to-day. And so even giving them those 2 minutes to have that moment is a gift. Yeah.
You may not be able to tell us, have you ever gone in in a city, have you ever gone in and read something, or do you even read every message in that room? And have you read something that just really, I guess, you kept with you, or, you know, made you very emotional?
I do read a lot of the messages, absolutely. Just because that's kind of the joy. These rooms come to life when guests step inside of them. Otherwise, they're not really anything without the audience. I've taken away a lot from that room. One thing that I've loved from the first time we did it was someone said, I keep a photo of you in my pocket every day. And it's funny because now I do that by, like, on my phone. I have a photo of myself as a child.
Oh, nice. You guys can't see that, but I'll zoom in.
Just because to remind them that they were always responsible for that person, that's them. And that was just a message that struck so true to me. And then some of them have been, you know, sad, and, you know, people who felt a certain way as a child were really aspirational, really courageous, and maybe had lost a little bit of that as they had grown into adults. And, you know, hopefully they get to reclaim that by just having a moment to think about it. Yeah.
So the last room we're going to talk about is actually the room that we are in right now, and I love this room. This is an ode to Black women. I read some of the messages here. One that says, you know, forget them. I'm using different words, but forget them, be loud. There's also one, my hair isn't up for debate. A lot of social things that we are seeing in today's climate are on the walls of this room, and it also reminds Black women that you are strong, that you are powerful, to embrace, you know, your Blackness. So tell us about this room. I love this room.
I love this room. So it's a collaboration with Unbothered, which is Refining 29's dedicated platform by and for Black women. It's got an incredible community and audience, and it's a young platform, but it's already had an amazing response. And we wanted to create a space that felt like a love letter to Black women, where anyone who's at this event can come in and see the visual impact, but we wanted to feel like a safe space even within our event for Black women to feel seen, and to see so many of the things that have been kind of sanitized and co-opted of their Blackness just in culture recently, and actually put them on pedestals and be explicit about where they came from. So whether that is shea butter, whether that is hoop earrings, and that's like that statement there, ghetto until proven fashionable, by young fashion designer Nerissa Willis, is exactly that, is that we see so many of these elements just get circulated through culture without their Blackness, and so this is an opportunity to reclaim them. And then just be explicitly commemorative. We want every inch of the space to have the name or the message of a powerful Black woman. And so you're seeing that here too. You're seeing everyone from Sandra Bland to, Kimberly Crenshaw to Harriet Tubman to Nia Wilson. So there's a legacy that we're also trying to represent here, that Black excellence is not anything new. There's history there, and for young Black women today, we are all just kind of trafficking in that legacy, and we're a part of it. And that idea of history is super important, because I also think it's something that gets kind of ripped away and washed away from Black culture as well.
Again, 29 rooms. You guys have to be here this weekend. Starts today, so make sure you check it out. Olivia Fagon, thank you so much. And I mean, I'm in awe. I'm leaving here hashtagging, tweeting, texting everyone, because they need to be here this weekend. This is awesome.
Thank you. Welcome. Come. We're very excited to have you.